Hello students, I'm Himani Sharma, your UGC NET Paper 1 educator. In this new YouTube video, we are bringing forward for you certain new concepts which are related to the field of ICT. But before jumping on to the questions, let me just give you an overview of the 30-day program that we have for you, the last lab. Right? So first of all, if you would have watched the previous videos, you would have seen that how through the usage of certain PYQs, we move forward with learning certain concepts which are really very important from the examination point of view, right? So students tend to study, but they also tend to forget when to revise and how much and what are the topics that they should be focusing more on when the last minute revision is concerned, right? So this series is basically for that very purpose only. So even if you are lying down on your couches, etc., you all can, revise the concept sitting at ease and seeing and assessing yourself if you are, able to answer the questions correctly. Correct? So the first question that I have for you in this video we have is match the computer terms with the purpose. So you can pause your screens whenever you see a question, correct, and answer it. The answer to this question is option C, that is A1, B2, C3 and D4. So not that difficult. First of all, let's just read what is the computer term and what is the description for the purpose of the same. So OCR is used to scan typed or handwritten documents. OCR, if you would have used OCR or you would have used Adobe in your phones as a scanner, you would have seen that it also provides you with certain kind of feature that even the written handwriting whichsoever is there, that can also be transmitted to a Word document or a typed file, right? Or also you can use to scan certain typed documents to make it a soft copy, correct? OMR sheets used to be there when you used to appear for your examination, where you had to fill in the particulars, the options, right, with the usage of a pen in the round circular motion. Email is an example of asynchronous communication, and instant messaging is the example of a synchronous communication. Now let us just read what do we have here. First of all, you are supposed to jot down the abbreviations if you are making notes watching these videos, right? So OCR stands for optical character recognition. It's a business solution for automating data extraction from printed or written text, as I told you, from a scanned document or an image file, right? And then converting the text into machine readable form to be used for data processing. So certain times what happens is that you might have certain documents, certain, the PDFs which are not at all editable. What can you do from those PDFs is that you can use OCR to read the content, copy paste it wherever it is needed, right, as a doc format, as a soft copy format, correct? Optical mark reading, hence it is known as OMR, right? As I told you, you used to make certain marks. Method of entering data into a computer system. It reads pencil or pen marks made in predefined positions. So if A is here, B is here, C is here, D is here, and you are marking on A. So this is a predefined position, and when the mark sheet will be read by the computer, it will automatically see A as the answer because that position is predefined, correct? OMR sheets are the example which are used in the examination centers, right? And then they provide the person with the total response that yes, these many questions were correct, these many corrections were, questions were incorrect. Right? The most common use of OMR is in offices, academics and research departments where large numbers of hand-filled documents must be processed, such as we have surveys, questionnaires, exams, reply cards, so on and so forth. And it can handle hundreds of thousands of physical documents per hour. For instance, if we are entering multiple documents, the machine, the computer is going to read the predefined state as I told you, and it is going to pick up the option which you have marked, right? And based on that very thing, it is going to see that option was correct or incorrect, correct? Then we have email. We have done extensively certain things in certain lecture where we have talked about the email, right? So the full form of email is electronic mail. The information stored on a computer that is exchanged between two users over telecommunications. So obviously, if you are a person who is working, if you are a person who is even studying, you share certain notes with your peers, you share certain notes with your friends, family, right? And even with your boss if you are a working person, right? So you use a medium to communicate for that very thing, which is a formal one. So communication through email is a formal communication, correct, where you are doing certain things, and obviously emails, if the sender sends them to you, they cannot be deleted from the the person who has received it, if they delete it from their own computer. So this is where the authenticity lies as well, that anything, any communication which is official in nature happens over email to make this thing authentic and trustworthy and reliable, correct? And they are the example of asynchronous communication. What do we mean by asynchronous communication? Any type of communication which is not happening in real time. So, not occurring in real time. What do we mean by real time? Real time means that at the time if you have sent someone an email, he or she will respond according to their own time, right? So there is no one-to-one conversation that is happening at the same time as the other person is replying, correct? Hence it is known as asynchronous. So the person whosoever is receiving the mail, etc., will be using them according to their own convenience, correct? Moving forward, we have instant messaging such as we have Facebook Messenger, we have WhatsApp as well. Those are the examples of synchronous. Now coming to the synchronous communication, it obviously is the opposite of asynchronous, correct? And it happens in real time. So for instance, fast replies, etc. For instance, if you are messaging someone over WhatsApp and they reply to you at the same point of time, right, that does not mean that 1 or 2 minutes gap is not there, right? But a conversation is happening in real time with the people that you are chatting with. That is known as instant messaging, which is an example of, as we talked about, synchronous, right? Shortened to IM, that is instant message or instant messaging, is the exchange in near real time messages through a standalone application or embedded software. So for instance, we have WhatsApp, we have Messenger, we had Hike in the previous times. Now I think it has been, discontinued. So that's why it is the example of a synchronous messages, because messages are being sent to one another in synced manner, right? So synchronization is there. Then we have the next question, which has an assertion and reason based question. So read the assertion, which says the purpose underlying modern an ICT based support system in teaching is to optimize learning outcomes. This is the assertion, and the reason for the same is because an effective instructional support system has to be linked with the enhancement of the learning conditions. So pause your videos and see what do you think will be the answer. These are the options, right? So you can choose from these options to see what do you think is the correct option. The answer here that we have is option A, which says both A and R are correct and true, and R is the correct explanation of, the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Let's just read it here. First of all, what is ICT? In education is the mode of education that uses information and communication technology to support, right, to enhance and optimize the learning or the delivery of information. So basically with the usage of ICT, which is in itself a technological field, if we talk about, it has been used in the digital field of higher education as well. So because of the higher educational field, how is that going to be used, right? Then we have assertion. Now we move on to the assertion. The purpose underlying the modern and ICT based support systems in teaching is to optimize, that means to increase the learning outcomes with the usage of ICT basically, correct? That is a true thing. In schools, classroom teaching constitutes the primary means of impacting student learning. While organizing teaching learning, the teacher makes use of a host of learning support systems available to them in the school. So basically, they can use certain things which are traditional in nature. But if we talk about the modern ICT systems, they can also use the things which are provided by them, right? To them by the institute or the organization where they are working. Just for instance, right now I am teaching you through this smart board. This smart board is the usage of ICT, right? And with this ICT tool, we are having a communication, we are optimizing the learning outcomes which are there because it is being more interactive in nature. Some of these learning systems are libraries, laboratories, etc. So, though these are the ones which are traditional in nature, right? So first of all, if modern and ICT based learning systems will be there in the schools, obviously there will be a boost in the learning outcomes of the students, because visual memories always and always are the ones which retain in the memory of a person. Then we had the reason because an effective instructional support system has to be linked with the enhancement of learning conditions. So first of all, as we talked about, what is a learning support system? The system which provides academic resources to support student learning in educational institutions. Those are known as learning support systems. For instance, we can talk about, as we have in the previous slide have talked about, the laboratories. The laboratories are there to enhance the student learning outcome because they are giving the student a hands-on experience, right? Learning support systems in schools such as library, laboratories, etc. have been gratefully transformed with the use of ICT, because now if we even talk about the e-yantra platform, which has been talked about in one of the previous videos, that how they are focusing more on robotics, correct? And moreover, with the usage of ICT as well, this thing has been there where they are focusing more on the remote experimentation part, correct? Then we have virtual laboratory, that is virtual labs we have talked about as a particular scheme which has been there by the government of India, so that remote experimentation can take place, correct? So email, internet, all are increasingly being used by schools. Such methods lead to enhanced learning conditions. Hence, the reason is also correct because of the fact that it is agreeing with the assertion. The next is following statements about the antivirus software. You have to select which amongst them is the correct one, is or are the correct one. The answer to this question is option A, that is A, B and C only. So first of all, what is an antivirus program? That scans your computer or laptop for viruses and other harmful softwares and removes it. So if you would have in your life, you would have installed this very antivirus program, for instance named Avast Antivirus, you would have seen that it is the one which guides you, which makes you aware that if there is any kind of virus which is there in your computer, right? So that is that one thing, correct? Commonly known as anti-malware software. So if a question is being asked in the examination, that obviously means these two things are of the same name, correct? That prevents, detects and removes malware which is there in the computer if it is taken up from a website, if it's because of particular application, etc. So it anti means against, so it is antivirus which is virus against, and it is going to remove, detect and prevent it from being there on your computer and preventing it from harming the computer or the programs which are already installed there. Correct? Detecting the presence of malicious software by scanning directories of individual files for known dangerous patterns, right? This prevents from inflicting damage to your device by identifying, quarantining and or destroying the malicious code. And who would better understand than us that what is quarantine in this time, right? So due to the COVID pandemic, we all were being, the people who were, found out to be COVID positive, they were the ones who were being quarantined for 14 days, right? They were being set apart, they were being left alone for the part that they recover fastly and the virus is not spread. Same is the case with here, this antivirus program, that it quarantines those files which seem to be the ones which can be harmful for the computer system. It often works in the background by scanning PCs, servers, mobile devices for malware and preventing it from spreading. So basically its main job is to save your device from any kind of malware attack. It examines the file by comparing specific parts of code and information in its database, and if it detects a pattern that matches one of them, right, the file will be quarantined or deleted. So basically it will take an action for your file to be removed, deleted, altered, etc. It nowadays updates itself automatically to provide protection against the viruses and malware. So we have different types of viruses. If we talk about, we have Trojan horse, we have logic bomb, right? Different types of viruses are there and they have a particular pattern. And in this video only, I have a particular kind of virus which we will be talking about, that it has a set pattern. Correct? So the computer, the antivirus software scans the pattern of the virus and then identifies that yes, it is that very coding and this needs to be deleted or erased. The next question that I have for you is, identify which of the following are e-learning platforms. The answer to this question is option B, that says A, C and D only. Correct? So these two are not the learning platforms which are there because of the fact these three, Swayam Prabha and Diksha, these provide certain things which are related to which are the platforms which are only and only dealing with the e-learning part. Now you must be having this question in mind, that why MOOCs are not the ones which are the ones considered as the e-learning platform. They are an e-learning platform, not at all, like we cannot completely say that MOOCs are an online program. First of all, a question for you all. Comment down below and let me know the full form of MOOC. What do we mean by MOOC, right? What is the abbreviation? What does M stand for? OOC, what does that stand for? Now coming back to this very thing, MOOCs are something which are online courses, which are online courses, and these three things which are there, they are the channels, they are the websites which provide you with the content as the e-learning platform. So first of all, Swayam, study webs of active learning for young aspiring minds. Multiple times this full form of Swayam has been asked, right? Was launched on July 9, 2017, and even if you don't remember this date, you are supposed to memorize the year, by the Ministry of Education to provide an integrated platform and portal for online courses which are there. This covers all higher educational subjects, right? So what are there? Higher education subjects are there, correct? Skill sector courses are there. What is the aim? What is the objective? To ensure that every student has access to the best quality higher education. So if we talk about the National Education Policy 2020, we all know that the motto for NEP 2020 was in its entirety about the quality education, right? So through these kind of platforms, e-learning platforms, one learns the educational level which maintains the qualitative standards of that very thing, right? And these massive open online courses through Swayam are delivered, correct? Then we have Swayam Prabha. Swayam Prabha is a TV channel, 34 DTH channels which are there. So hence the education is being spread through the mode of television, correct? High quality educational programs on a 24/7 basis using the GSAT satellite, and this was also the question which has been asked in the NET examination, that what kind of satellite does the Swayam Prabha use, correct? Moving to the Diksha platform. Now, this is also one of the questions which I am asking you right now. MOOCs we have done even in the previous classes, so I hope you all have jotted down, right, or commented down the right thing that we were supposed to. The next question for you all is, tell me what is the full form of the platform Diksha, right? So they just not give it names because they want it to be there. The names hold a particular kind of abbreviations just as we had for Swayam. Correct? Offers teacher. So this is a question for you. Comment and let me know what is the full form of Diksha without using the internet, of course. Offers teachers, students and parents engaging learning material which is relevant to the prescribed school curriculum. So anything which is related to the particular school's syllabus curriculum, that thing is provided, the learning material is provided even to the teachers, students and their parents for easier access. Correct? Then we have, what is a device driver? A device driver is, the answer to this question is option B, that is a software that communicates with the operating system and translates data into a format understood by the device. So first of all, let me just give you the example of a device driver so that when we read the explanation, things are clear to you. Now let's just take for example a printer, correct? A printer. Now, this is a Wi-Fi printer, that means it's a wireless printer which is there. And if you are going to give any comment, if you are going to give any command from your computer which is attached to the printer, correct? First of all, you need to install the device driver of the model which is the printer's model. So, for instance, if we have HP 401 printer, I am just randomly giving a name, right? I don't even know if this model exists, but yes, if we are just talking about a different model which is altogether there, this is the model of the printer, correct? And if the device driver is not installed on the computer system, and even if I'm giving the printing command, it won't reach out to the computer, to the printer. Why? Because the device driver is not there and it is not communicating the command from the computer to the printer, from one software, from one thing from the computer to the hardware which is there, correct? So from the printer, if I need the command to reach out to the printer, I need to have a device driver, right? And with the usage of the installation of device driver, now if I will be giving any command on the computer, it will be there, it will be processed by the printer and the document will be printed, correct? Now let's just read the explanation. That operates or controls a particular device attached to a computer, as I gave you the example of a printer, right? So if a device is attached to a computer, it only will get attached if the device driver installation is done. Software interface to hardware devices, enabling operating systems and other computer programs to access hardware functions without knowing precise details about the hardware being used. So if you put on a command that is Control P, which is there for the printing purposes, right, and the computer is connected to the printer, you will see this notification popping out on the right side of your screen, which will say that yes, job sent to the printer, right, and the document gets printed, correct? A device driver is generally written by the device's manufacturer and along with the device on a CD-ROM. So it can be installed either online or through the usage of a CD-ROM. The main purpose of device drivers is to provide abstraction by acting as a translator. So this is a really important line that we have here. It is a translator between a hardware device and the applications or the operating systems that we have, that we use. For instance, from a Windows PC, I am giving a command of print and it is reaching out to the hardware. Hence, the commands are being translated. For example, a high-level application interacting with the serial port may have send data and receive data functions. A device driver is going to be a translator in between here. So, through the example of a printer, you can say, or even if we talk about a Bluetooth or a wireless device, right, whichever is there, we need to install the device driver first so that the connection can be built up between the device driver, between the device and the computer. The next question that I have is again assertion based reason, right? Modern and ICT based teaching support requires some technical knowledge on the part of the teacher and the learner. And the reason for the same is because both teachers and learners have to be provided orientation in the use of the various support tools and techniques in an intelligent way. So, the answer that you are going to guess, let's just see what we have here as the answer. The answer here is both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Now, if we talk about here, if we talk about the assertion is simply saying that if we use modern and ICT based teaching support, it will require some kind of knowledge on the teachers or the students part, that how to use or operate a particular program when it comes to using ICT. Now just imagine that if I was here and I was standing here alone and I did not know how to operate this smart board using this stylus, that would not have been the one where we could have been easily interacting with one another and this session would have been successful. So for me to be interactive, for me to know certain things, obviously I need certain kind of technological knowledge, right? Technical knowledge on the part of the teacher, and through your participation of getting involved in this, you are coming to the Drishti IAS English platform to see this video, because you are technically aware that there is a program which has been launched, right, on the YouTube platform. So this is because both of us are working together and we have certain kind of technical knowledge. The days of blackboards and chalks were all replaced by LCD projectors, right, and interactive whiteboards in the classroom. When we talk about the modern and ICT based education system, it includes full-fledged usage of high-tech equipment right now, just say I am using right now, right? It requires ICT based devices, laptops, e-readers, e-notebooks, tablets, etc., audio-visual aids, etc. So from one thing which is already related with, all in all, related with the technological part of ICT being there, obviously the teacher will be the one who should be knowing certain things. For instance, in the COVID times, the aged teachers did not know how to, start up a Zoom meeting. So after the COVID was over, the teachers were being oriented by the schools that if certain kind of things were happening or were to happen again, you are supposed to start a meeting like this. So the technical knowledge, is being provided. First of all, assertion is correct. Now moving forward and looking at the reason that we have here is, both teachers and learners have to be provided orientation in the use of various support tools. So for instance, as I was telling you, giving you the example of COVID-19, the students were also not able, not really knowledgeable about the fact that a Zoom meeting happens like this, right? A Google Meet happens like this and you are supposed to join like this, etc. So the knowledge on the learner's part is also, the one that should be kept in mind. And both of them, for instance, the teacher and the learner, both of them should be oriented that if a teacher is going to use this program, the student is going to come over on this platform and use it like this. There's a particular application, you view particular things on the course which are on the Drishti platform. You know certain things, you are oriented, right, even by the course coordinators, etc. When teachers are digitally literate and trained to use ICT, these approaches can lead to higher order thinking skills, providing creative and individualized options for students to express their understandings and leave students better prepared to deal with the online technological change in society and the workplace. So basically what I was telling you was this thing only, right? Right now if I'm asking you to comment down below and let me know about the full form of MOOC and Diksha, that is happening and you guys will be commenting down. Why is that happening? Because you are also technically aware, you have been oriented as in how to comment down on a YouTube video, how to use YouTube, etc. Right? It is necessary to have an orientation of certain tools of modern learning methods for teachers and learners as well. Thus, modern learning methods require knowledge on both parts. Hence, the reason is also correct. So, the answer that we had here was both A and R are correct, and R is the correct explanation of the assertion that we had. Then we have the next statement based question, where statement 1 says that in the free version of Google Meet, through your personal Gmail or Google account, you can record your session or class. Statement 2 on the other hand says, to join an online class or session conducted via Google Meet, you need to log in to your Google account. So, what do we have here as the answer? The answer to this question is option D, which says statement 1 is false, whereas statement 2 is true. Why do we say that? Let's just read statement 1 firstly. Statement 1 said that in the free version, you can record the session and the classroom with your Gmail account. That is not done in the free version, students. That can only be done in the paid version, and that too, the paid version is for the host only. So, the host who is, organizing the meeting, he or she will be able to record the session only and not the students, correct? So breakout rooms are there. These are the features of the paid version of the Google Meet. Moderators can use breakout rooms participants into smaller groups during video calls. So the video call, the meeting can be broken into different pieces. Hand raise, the option of hand raise can raise their participants can raise their hands to let moderators know that they want to speak. They have their opinion. Right, so rather than just being in the class and being the one who's creating a mess basically in the class, this feature is the one which is there for the hand raise part, so that the moderator, the person who is the organizer of the meeting, knows that yes, this person wants to speak and they can turn on their mic and speak. Then we have noise cancellation. Participants can filter out the background noise to help limit distractions during a call, right? So this is the feature of a paid part. In the free part, there is no such features which we are talking about here, only in the paid part. Attendance tracking. With the paid version, the moderator can get a report on who attended their meeting or video calls and live streams which were happening using the Google Meet. Record a meeting, only moderators can record videos for others to watch later. So basically, a person who is attending the meeting, they cannot record even if they are getting in touch through a paid version. It is only the moderator, the organizer who has bought the paid version of Google account, Google Meet, he will be the one who can record the session. Hence, because the free version has been talked about here, that's why the statement is incorrect. Statement 2. To join an online class or session conducted via Google Meet, you will have to log in to your Google account. Yes, of course, it will ask like from if you have 2 accounts logged in your computer, your phones, it will ask like from what Google account you want to log into this very meeting, to join this very meeting. So it has integrated its Google Meet service directly onto users' Gmail account in the new updated version, right? This means you will be able to create a meeting or join a already created meeting on Google Meet directly through Gmail without needing to open Google Meet on your web browser. So if you want, right now Google Meet has its different application which is there, but through Gmail as well, because both the applications are integrated. If you just see by updating your Gmail, you will see that there is a different portion which is there which says meeting and the other one says the mails, right? So through the meeting as well, you can join a meeting, you can start a meeting, etc. So the step 1 is open your Gmail account. If the new Google Meet integration is live for your Google account, you will see a new Meet session on the left sidebar. Step 2, under the Meet section, click on start a meeting. If you want to be the moderator, you are the one who's organizing a meeting. But if you are already going to join a meeting, a link will be provided to you by the moderator or a meeting code will be there, right, which you will have to enter. Step 3, you can join the meeting that you created by clicking the join now button on the right side of the meeting window. Hence, statement 2 is true that yes, you need to log in using your Gmail account if you want to start a Google meeting, correct? Then we have a next question. Which of the following is a special type of computer virus that fills a computer system with self-replicating information, clogging the system so that its operations are slowed or stopped? Pause your videos and see what do we have here as the answer. The answer to this question is option C, that is a worm. A computer worm. First of all, what is a computer virus? A malicious piece of computer code, and that's why you see when we were talking about the antivirus part that it reads certain codes and observes the patterns in the antivirus software to remove the virus which is there. Correct? So a virus is done in the coding part. It is not like the COVID virus which is going to be spread through our bodies, right? But it is something, it is a code which is there, which is transmitted from one computer to the other through certain website, if you are redirected to a website or something like that. Designed to spread from device to device. They can be harmful and can destroy data, can slow down your system resources and log key strokes, etc. Correct? So the worst type of virus that we have here is, the first type is the computer worm, which we had as the correct answer because it replicates. It is a subset of Trojan horse malware that can propagate or self-replicate from one computer to another without human activation after breaching a system. So if for one time, the worm enters your computer system, the coding of the worm virus enters your computer system, it will keep on replicating from device to device if another device is connected to particular computer, correct? Typically, it spreads across a network through your internet or LAN. So basically, any computer or any devices that you are sending data to or receiving data from, the LAN, that is the internet connection that you have, that is going to be, this worm is going to be replicate and get increased time by time. It is a type of malware whose primary function is to, as I told you, self-replicate and infect other computers while remaining active on the infected system. So if computer 1 is there where the worm was there for the very first time, and then it get replicated on different devices, in the printers, in the different computers which were connected with the same internet connection, as in we have in an office environment, right? So the infected computer which will be there it will still stay, but it will keep on multiplying, correct? Therefore it duplicates itself to spread to uninfected computers. Then we have a firewall. A firewall is a network security system. So it is a security system and not a virus, correct? That monitors and controls incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. So basically, it is a program, it is a software which is used to secure your system and see if the traffic is being there, the data packets are transmitted from one computer to the other correctly with the usage of certain rules which are already established. Then we have a keystroke. Just any interaction you make with a button on your keyboard. So if you press L, right, if you press K and Y, etc., S, etc., those are the keystrokes that you are using. Each keystroke transmits a signal that tells your computer that what you want them to do. So basically, if you are going to write this very thing, right, you are going to press K-A-R-T-I-K. You are going to press that on your computer system, and from the keyboard, the signal will reach out to the computer system and it will type Karthik, correct? A zombie in computer system refers to any device that has been compromised by a virus or a hacker. So basically, a hacker hacks a computer system and uses it according to his own will, correct? That is what a zombie does. Then we have, in electronic banking, ATM stands for what? A question which has been recently asked in the 2021 examination. The answer here is option 1. That is, ATM is automated teller machine, right? Electronic banking terminal, you all must have been to ATMs to credit cards, credit your cash and or debit your cash, withdrawn, etc. You must have visited an ATM, right? So that is an electronic banking terminal, enables consumers to conduct simple transactions without the assistance of a teller or a branch personnel. So you do not need a branch person to be there to provide you with cash, but you can simply go out to a machine and you can get your money, the transmission of your money, right? ATM stands for automated teller machine. They are convenient because they allow customers to do self-service operations. So there are certain ATM machines where you can also deposit cash, right? You can withdraw cash, but there are certain machines where you can get the passbook printed, you can deposit the cash, etc. Connects through the interbank communicators. So whichsoever is your branch, that is the main connector which is there, which were developed in the 1970s. So from the 1970s, ATMs have been there, right? It performs several functions such as cash dispensing, paying routine bills, fees, taxes, updating passbooks, printing or ordering bank statements, etc. So even from your bank ATM, you can get the bank statements from those very particular statements for the transactions, right? What kind of transactions have happened in my bank statement of a particular month, correct? And these are the services which has the components. The ATM have different components. What are they? Card reader, because you insert a card and it reads the card there. Then it has a keypad to enter your passcode, etc. Correct? Printer, to print the receipts which are there, which can be there, which you might want or might not want, cash dispenser from where you will get the cash, and a screen where you will see what kind of instructions you are going to enter, right? So these were certain things which were related, the certain concepts which I thought that were really important for you all for your last minute revision purposes. We all will be meeting again in the next video. Till then, keep on smiling, students, and keep on studying. Thank you so much.